Who that nation? What is up? What it do? Happy College Football Saturday. Welcome to the next episode of the Black and Gold Breakdown Podcast. Y'all know who it is. It's your boy Who Dat Davis here with a little bit new stuff here. You guys see the new layouts. I got the new layout. I got the moon up there to my top left. Got the little clean stuff down there at the bottom. Got the little new nameplates for Nicole and I. It is Who Dat Davis here for you. And as always, if you guys don't know, you will know over here. We bleed black and gold until we are dead and cold. And as you can see, I have not been sitting on my ass doing absolutely nothing. You guys have always heard me preach that I will update everything that you guys donate to me will be put towards the channel here. And as you can see, everything is starting to pay off. Everything's starting to get a little personal over here in terms of UI, in terms of nameplate sets, all that stuff. It's all going into the channel as promised. And speaking of going into the channel, I got my co-host here, the one, the only, the Saints queen of Twitter, Nicole. She's feeling a little under the weather today, so that's why she's not cammed up. But Nicole, is always a blessing to have you here on the channel. I hope you are doing okay.
Hey everybody, good evening.
Look, y'all, we're going to keep it short, sweet. It's going to take about 30 minutes to get through what we want to get through. And then we're going to get through all the comments. Everybody wants to weigh in their thoughts, weigh in their opinion, their questions. We'll get to y'all for about the last 10 minutes of the show. And then we're going to get up out of here and watch the rest of football. All right, we got to get to the big news that hit today is that it doesn't come from the Saints. We'll get to the Saints in a second, boy. We're going to talk about the Tennessee Titans. And then we're going to talk about Odell Beckham Jr. because he's been on the mind of everybody for the last 3 days. But so let's talk about Julio Jones. As of a couple hours ago, the Tennessee Titans have placed Julio Jones on injured reserve today. So that means the Saints won't have to go up against the duo of Brown and Jones. And once again, the Saints get another lucky break in terms of playing an opposing team without some of their best weapons. And that's been a reoccurring theme so far for the Saints, but for some reason they just cannot capitalize. Nicole, I have no idea what to make of this game. I have no idea who's going to win, but I'm putting my money in the hat for Tennessee because they may be without Julio Jones, but the Saints are also going to be without Alvin Kamara, Teron Armstead, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And that's just that's too much star power. That's too many key pieces on both sides of the ball that could really hurt the Saints. And I have no confidence in them being able to bounce back from their terrible performance overall against the Atlanta Falcons. What are your opinions on this Julio Jones dismissal and Alvin Kamara not being there?
I think the opposite of you. I think our star key players are gonna make the ones who normally don't show up. I mean, no CD, so we're gonna have Roby, Sean, and possibly a Debo in the backfield. So I think this is just a chance for us to really see what players like Roby can do. And then Alvin Kamara, yeah, he's going to be missed, but Mark Ingram is back. Like, Mark Ingram is our workhorse back. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I just have faith in our guys at the end of the day. And then, like the comment said, Ken Crawley is back too. Granted, do the Kelly show? Fuck no. Give me Paulson and Debo. But it is what it is.
I mean, I can understand where you're coming from, but a fully healthy Saints defense couldn't even handle an Atlanta Falcons offense that had no Calvin Ridley, and they got took apart by Cordero Patterson. Now, granted, he's really a wide receiver playing many different positions that provided key mismatches. So granted on that, but you know, They tend to give up too many deep completions over the middle of the field, too many deep shots, and that's very uncharacteristic for what the Saints have been. That's been their mantra of taking away the deep balls, and they haven't done that over these last, I would say, 3 weeks now. They gave it up against the Tampa Bay Bucks, and they've managed to squeak out a win. They let it happen again against the Falcons, and they pulled together a late hoorah. Granted, they took the lead, coming back from an 18-point deficit, and they still they gave up the deep ball to Cordero Patterson. I don't know. There's just something about the Saints that's just so up and down that I can't trust. I can't trust them going into this game. They've given up the most yards after catch when it comes to short and intermediate completions. That's the most in the NFL. And that's where Ryan Tannehill makes his bread and butter. That's where he does his damage. So this matchup kind of favors Ryan Tannehill in a way, even though he's going to be without Julio Jones. And yeah, Ken Crawley is going to be back, but let's be honest, how much impact can we really expect him to have in this game?
That's why I say give me Paulson and Debo. I don't like him. I'm going to call it like I see it. Ken Crawley is not my favorite cornerback.
Oof. Telling it like it is. Hey, I like it. I respect it. But at the same time, you gotta wonder if we are going to see Ken Crawley in this game, do we see him more in the slot or more on the outside? Because Paulson Adebo has been getting work since he came here in both slot and out, and they were high on Ken Crawley since training camp. He looked like 2017 Crawley again, from multiple reports from Saints media and even Sean Payton. So, in what capacity should we expect to see Ken Crawley tomorrow?
First, we're going to run him half and half and switch out him and Adebo, and then kind of throw Roby in the mix too, because at this point, we really don't have a choice but to mix it up and just give them the unexpected.
Looks like Ohio State just cleaned up business against Purdue. Finally, that game took forever. But focusing back on the Saints real quick, I apologize for that, y'all. I've been watching this game. I've been so invested because everybody was hyping up David Bell, and even though he had something of an impressive game, I didn't see the hype. I didn't see the hype in this game. Not against Ohio State anyway. I saw more of Jackson Smith and Jigba more than David Bell and Garrett Wilson as well. So my thing is, when David Onyemata was supposed to be coming back, the interior pressure was supposed to elevate itself. They had no pressure last week against Matt Ryan and the Falcons. In the little pressure they did have, he found a way to maneuver the pocket and squeak out for some really, really elusive stuff. I'm not even going to try to detail it because it's too cringe to even think about. I mean, the guy shook Demario Davis out of his boots, out of his cleats, excuse me. I never want to see that again, ever. No man should be juking out a all-pro linebacker, not someone like Matt Ryan. But I'm very conflicted because the lack of use for Mark Ingram. You know, Alvin Kamara is injured because of the lack of use of Mark Ingram since he's been back. And now the sad thing is AK is injured, and I put that on Sean Payton. I'm trying to figure out, and maybe you can help me out here, Nicole. Why does it have to take Alvin Kamara getting injured for Sean Payton to finally utilize Mark Ingram to take on the heavy load as he was originally projected to be? Like, he was brought here for a reason to help take the load off of AK, so he doesn't have to run between the tackles every other carry. That's supposed to be Mark's job. And Sean Payton just hasn't done that. I mean, but why does it take this injury to your star player to finally wake up and use Mark Ingram the way he's supposed to be used?
Like I honestly can't even answer that question because I'm wondering that myself. Um, I knew that us bringing back Mark Ingram would make Alvin available in more of like a receiver slot position versus his regular running back position, but we really didn't even use him like that. So that's an unanswered question that only Sean Payton can answer.
Well, hopefully he gives us a damn answer because I am frustrated. But speaking of receivers, let's talk about our receivers. One receiver in particular stands out, and Kevin White. He's been officially signed to the active roster, meaning he's earned his way to active play time. And honestly, I'm happy for dude because he has shown that he possesses special teams value as our primary gunner. He's done a magnificent job as a gunner. He only has one catch so far with the offense for 38 yards. Then we have Marquez Callaway, still have Traquan Smith, we have Kenny Stills. It's been a whole mess receiving position. And that is compounded by the fact that they had 5 to 6 dropped passes that hit receivers in the hands last week that would have put Trevor Siemian over 300 yards. The first 300-yard passer for the Saints this season. I know the receivers need to be able to catch, right? That's the main issue that they need to correct going into tomorrow's game. But what other issues have you seen out of this receiving corps so far that they need to get right in short order if they want to find a way to pull out a win against the Tennessee Titans?
Catching ball. You cannot have Trevor Siemian out here throwing 30 and 40-yard bombs to Kenny Stills, and Kenny Stills just having a wide open ass chance and just dropping the ball. It's Butterfingers. It's like Jared Cook flashbacks all over again, and I fucking hate that. I despise Jared Cook. Fuck that dude. So it's like, why are y'all out here playing like someone that we eyes? We know Kenny Stills can be better than that. We know better than that. Kenny Stills got to prove it.
Slim South 504, my guy, what is going on? He says, give the wide receivers some shorter routes, maybe. My guy, I love you, I respect you, and I respect this take. But let me answer that with a question. What good would shorter routes do if they still can't get separation at the top of their keys? This wide receiving corps has the worst amount of separation in the entire NFL. And I mean, it's bad. Other than Deontay Harris. I'm talking about that's worse than
Jacksonville. From Michael Thomas.
That too. So shortening their routes doesn't really do much. Now, Sean Payton has schemed guys open plenty of times before, but I just don't think the personnel is here for all that to be really effective. So, Slim South 504, I wouldn't mind them trying shorter routes, but I doubt it would be really effective if these guys can't get separation in the first place. It has to start with separation. You can't just rely on Deontay Harris, who may end up getting suspended at some point in this regular season, because we all know it's coming. We just don't know when it's coming. I hope these receivers prove me wrong. The Saints game rides on the receivers being able to make a play. It helped out Trevor Siemian. So he's been doing a fantastic job in these last two games he started. I've never seen a backup quarterback look this poised in the pocket and go through all his progressions, make the right choices majority of the time, put the ball in the receiver's hands 20 to 30 yards downfield. He would have had over 330 passing yards last week if those 5 drops didn't end up being drops. Like, that's how good Trevor Siemian has been for the Saints. And I credit a lot of that to Sean Payton. But speaking of Sean Payton, Nicole, where would you say you are at right now in terms of Sean Payton and his coaching so far this season? Like, where is your mindset at with our head coach?
Coach of the year, honestly. I mean, we could be in a way worse position right now. We could be like the Jaguars and the Dolphins. For us to put some type of points on the board. I just think he needs to open up and realize that we need fucking receivers. We need tight ends. We put it all on the line for Jay, who went to the goddamn Rams because his girlfriend wanted a Hollywood lifestyle.
Speaking of OBJ, I'm laughing at that because I told everybody that wanted to listen that we were not going to get OBJ. I told everybody that. I even told my good pal here, Nicole, that. She told me
We
that.
almost had him.
Let us dream. Nah. We ain't here to dream. I'm here to bring the reality to y'all. It just wasn't going to happen. Look, we've been through this whole saga before.
It wasn't going to happen because that sour in his ear.
That who? No.
That sour cream salamander he calls a girlfriend.
Sour cream salamander. Wow, you hate her that bad? You hate her that bad? Wow.
Yes, I hate her that bad. Yes, I hate her that bad because it's the fact. No, listen. It's the fact that you let your girlfriend, not your wife, not your fucking girlfriend, determine where you're gonna play.
So it was her and not. I mean, the reports came out that it was Jalen Ramsey that kind of swayed the motion for OBJ to play with the Rams. I heard it was in part through Jalen Ramsey and the FaceTime call they had. I think a couple days ago.
She had say so.
She had say so.
She had say so in it.
Well, you would know more about that than I do. I don't mess with these. I don't mess with these females like that. So you would know more about that than I would. So I'll take your word for it. I will take your word for it that his lady has something to do with him going to LA. But regardless of that, at the end of the day, OBJ is not playing the black and gold. But I can't fault the Saints, even though I can and I can't. See, here's the thing. They know there's a problem with the receivers. Sean Payton knows there's a problem with the current receiving core. But Sean Payton's just not going to throw his guys underneath the bus just to say what we want to hear. That's not Sean Payton's memo. He's not a Bruce Arians type of guy that's going to throw somebody underneath the bus directly to national media. It's just not his way. So, but at the same time, it's been over 2 years since we had problems with the receivers, and it's gotten worse ever since Ted Ginn left. So I'm on the fence personally because he knows and he's tried in free agency and trades, but he could have addressed it at the same time picked up a young guy on a rookie contract. I guess there's an argument to be made about being loyal to a fault. What I mean by that is being loyal to guys like Tre'Quan Smith, loyal to a fault. And if he ends up getting a new contract with the Saints in the next offseason, then this only is going to compound my case even more. He is loyal to a fault because Tre'Quan Smith does not deserve a new contract with the Saints next offseason. They should let that man walk and pick up somebody else in the draft and just build around Michael Thomas, Marquez Callaway, Deontay Harris, your two complementary pieces to your main star guy. Pick up a new number 2. And there's going to be plenty of number 2 receivers as it looks like in next year's NFL draft. Now let's go ahead and get some of these comments and I'll let you speak your mind on some of these. We got the last Saint here, and I think this is for you, Nicole. I think this is for you. This is the last thing. He says, "Boy, she's fine." And where are you getting this allegation? This is just a game. I believe this is for you to answer.
It is for me to answer, and I'm gonna square this shit away in less than 30 seconds. One, don't nobody give a fuck. Okay, only you care about that. Two, I'm getting this allegation because it was reported on by people like Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport. It came from legitimate sources that said that she has something to do with it. So allegation my ass. It's obviously true.
Would you mind sending that tweet my way after we're done here? Because I need a good laugh. I need a good laugh. I need a good laugh. So if you still have those tweets on you, can you send them to my DMs after this? That'd be funny because that would be funny to read, like that ass. All right, we got a next one here.
Absolutely. I'm gonna send it to you right now.
Okay, cool. We got Rose City said LeBron pushed him to come also. Yeah, I've seen tweets from LeBron. I've seen tweets from LeBron advocating for Obi to come to. Oh, yeah, she's not wrong, guys. From Robert Little, BSO, right here. It states, and I quote, Odell Beckham Jr.'s girlfriend, Lolo Wood, was a part of the decision-making process in him going to LA. Many more opportunities off the field for both of them in LA. I'm hearing he hopes it works out in LA because he wants to stay with the Rams long term. She's not lying. She's not lying. It's right here.
Your mama, don't try me.
Nicole, relax. Nicole, come on now. Come on. These are people. These are people. Not all these guys are on Twitter. We ain't gotta be bumping necks around here, all right? We cool.
Like, I low-key feel like some people try to sleep on me because I'm a woman that talks football. But I'm a woman with sources that knows football and talks football.
No, I definitely understand where you're coming from. Like, like no one's sleeping on you because you're a woman talking football. You definitely have your football IQ. I mean, I know that, and Carly knows that. If you guys don't know who Carly is, she's also a host on the WDN Chatline podcast. Go check them out, by the way. But no one's sleeping on you over here. Just some of these guys in the chat, just they don't have Twitter like you and me. They don't have Twitter. So some of this news that you get and you and me get, they don't get. So it's up to us to inform them of that. So if you see a question like that, I wouldn't take it personal. They just don't know. Hell, I didn't even know about it until you just now said something.
Because Nicole doesn't play.
I respect that.
Nicole doesn't play, and I'm not gonna feel disrespected.
Nah, I doubt he was disrespecting you like that. The dude, the last thing's legit. He's a Taysom Hill advocate, but he ain't disrespectful like that. I'm sure he didn't mean it like that. I'm sure I wouldn't even worry about it, Nicole.
Tells me everything I need to know.
Tensions. Wow. Wishful thinking. Robert Woods has a torn ACM. Wow. You know what? That's true. Robert Woods tore his ACL yesterday during practice. I honestly forgot about that.
Wonder why that happened.
No. It happened yesterday. It happened yesterday when OBJ was signing his contract. I'm sitting here like at the time I heard about it, I was like, what kind of convenience is this? I'm like, ain't no way. That's way.
What kind of convenience? Hell.
That was crazy. Robert Clark says Titans offense may become one-dimensional from our defense. Well, yes, it can be, but the question depends on will it? Because we know the Saints are our top 5 or top 3 run defense in the NFL. But what can the secondary do to hold up against a receiving corps led by AJ Brown? They still have some pretty solid pass catchers, not only from the receiving spot but from the tight end spot. So it can become a one dimensional, but can they capitalize on that? That will be the key question. That will be the key question to think about.
Marshawn Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore is going to have to lock down AJ Brown. AJ Brown is a highly solid receiver, one of my favorites in the NFL, besides Mike T. So they're gonna have to find a way to stop him.
It's true. And Marshawn Lattimore had his cast removed from his hand on Monday, so he's got hands available now. So hope we'll see what
better
happens.
be bionic.
Let's see what happens. Rose City says, "Say no, Dale and LeBron shot. Braun was just putting a bug in his ear." Yeah, that's true. I definitely can attest to this because, like I said earlier, Braun's been tweeting at OBJ nonstop to have him come to LA. And we have an all-time great back, LeBron James. When you see how an all-time great like LeBron James wanted you to come to LA to play in LA, that's going to be hard to say no. It's similar to what Tom Brady and bringing everybody over to play with him. It's going to be hard to tweets from those type of polarizing figures. Saints underdogs 3-0. I definitely agree with this. The Saints wide receiver core is the most inexpensive in the NFL. I'm assuming you mean the most inexperienced, because inexpensive means they're the cheapest.
Michael Thomas is worth $100 million.
If you mean inexpensive, then I can see what you mean, because it's composed of many undrafted wide receivers: Marquez Callaway, Deontay Harris. I think the only high value pick on the Saints receiver core right now is Tre'Quan Smith, because I believe what is he, a third round pick from 2018?
I believe it was a third.
Okay, so I think Tre'Quan Smith is like the only.
Julio's on odd weeks. He's not playing.
A lot of people push from good luck OBJ, a fun life in the sunny city. Look, I can't even fault OBJ for going to LA. Hell, I'll be fine with just going anywhere. But LA, that's like an ideal spot for a lot of people. I've even wanted to go to LA to play some sport when I was growing up through middle school playing football. I respect it. Nicole don't play, absolutely. Y'all know what it is. So for everybody that's new to Nicole, it took me a while to get it to adjust to adjust to her. It took me a couple of weeks, but this is Nicole being a forefront, and she demands respect. She's the one that commands. She's more that fire to my cool ice, and that's why I believe we work so well, because she don't play about her sources and she'll give it to you straight. I'm more of that shameless, hopeless, optimistic type of guy that's all for the positive vibes. So she's the fire on the ice. We got that kind of dynamic going on. Wallace Smith said,
I punched for disrespecting Michael Thomas.
Oh yeah, she's a Michael Thomas fan, a fanatic. She will fight and die and kill.
In my defense, he called him a racial slur. In my defense, he called him of my face. My fist met his nose.
Wait, who? Who did?
This man was at a bar when the Saints were playing the Falcons, and they were here in the city, and I was at a bar, and the man literally called Michael Thomas a racial slur. He was like, that, you know what? Hard. I'm like, in my at his face.
Oh, that, wow. So who's covering Julio? Please don't say Adebo or RBJ. Julio Jones is not playing tomorrow because he's placed on injured reserve today. He will not be playing. It's just going to be AJ Brown and whoever else. I believe their fourth round pick receiver is going to be called up to the active roster in place of Julio Jones. And you already know that guy's going over for 100 yards because they don't know a damn thing about him, and that It's always those guys we don't know about that that end up doing the most
Marcus
damage.
Johnson.
Johnson? Is that his?
Was that Johnson?
No, that can't be his name.
Yeah, he's one of the wide receivers on the roster.
Kirkpatrick is fourth round pick. Kirkpatrick is. Where's that tweet at? Man, I'll find it later. I think his name is Kirkpatrick. Let's see. Let's go ahead and read a couple more. Here. Shout out to Nicole. Hey, look at that. Look at that.
Chester Rogers.
Look at that. See, I told you they love you over here. Quit playing on my chat, girl. They love you over here. Look at that. My man loves you over here. Stop playing on my peoples. Quit playing on my peoples.
I just know what I know.
Okay, jokes aside. Let's read a couple more here, and then we're going ahead and get up on out. Enjoy the rest of college football. Sean is about to abuse Taysom Hill and the screen game. No to Taysom, but yes to the screen game. Because if you guys don't know, Taysom Hill and his regarding his concussion, he was out for about 45 minutes. He doesn't even remember the hit that he took. He said there was like a 45-minute gap.
He doesn't remember being carted off the field in the locker room.
Like that's, I don't know if you guys don't know the like the severity of concussions. If you guys ever had a concussion, I've had one concussion in my lifetime, thankfully, and that was when I was in basic training for the United States Army. I was a National Guard guy, you know. But during my time in basic training, I suffered a concussion during the blue phase of my training during the hike back. I didn't have suffered concussion because I stumbled over an uprooted tree stump, and the back of my head smacked down and onto a dirt road. I was out of it for about a week and a half. I couldn't remember close to 15, maybe 20 minutes of that. I couldn't remember who carried me. I couldn't remember anything of how I got into the infirmary. That like concussions are scary things. These have long lasting repercussions. Now, luckily, I was blessed and fortunate enough to not have any long lasting repercussions off of that. But with Taysom Hill, he's already suffered 2 concussions in back-to-back seasons total. That's scary. He's like one more serious concussion away from possibly having his whole football career just end. So I don't agree with using Taysom Hill as the bruiser that he was normally used as, because at some point you're going to have to think about the long-term health in his career and what could you use him for going forward. Like, I don't want to see Taysom Hill like that ever again. Ever. And neither should anybody else. I once kind of questioned why Sean Payton didn't use Taysom Hill all that much. But after thinking about it, he was right. Payton was right to not use Taysom Hill in that way. Because it was his first game back from a serious injury, a 3-week injury, mind you. And you just don't know. You don't want to expose him to that type of physicality so early. You want to work him back slowly and make sure he's really okay. So, I definitely agree with the screen game, but abusing Taysom Hill, I absolutely will be 100% against, even if it is a productive thing. I value health more than I value on the field productivity. Nicole, you got anything to add on that?
No, I basically agree with everything you just said. That must have been really fucking scary for Taysom because he didn't remember anything during those 45 minutes. So, and we can't read like that again.
Trevor about to throw over 30 passes. Well, he threw for over 40 last week, and he brought the team back from an 18-point deficit. So I can definitely agree he's going to throw for over 30. Oh, we got a good question here, Nicole. Rose City, my man Ro, he asks, How much do you think Van Ness being back will help Troutman and Juwan Johnson? Excellent question, because I've been on this for weeks now. I have said this tight end group has been needing a veteran tight end in there for the longest time, and Nick Van Ness has been the biggest disappointment because he has not been available. I believe Adam Troutman, for as much flack and heat that we give him, and most of it rightfully so, he is still an inexperienced young man as playing at an all pro a pro level. Juwan Johnson is not accustomed to being a full tight end. He's just a receiver flex out in that position, kind of similar to Kyle Pitts, and and using similar ways like Cordero Patterson. Nick Van Ness is supposed to be the leader. It's supposed to be the guy that spearheads this young, inexperienced position group. So, how much do I think Nick Van Ness being back will help Troutman and Juwan Johnson? I think it's going to help them tremendously. Not only just in the passing game, but in the blocking game. Nick Van Ness was a really good, solid blocking tight end. Supposed to pick up the slack when Josh Hill ended up going to Detroit and subsequently. Nick Van Ness is going to take away a lot of pressure off of Adam Troutman. He's going to really help these guys. Probably not this week, but going forward, if he can stay healthy, Nick Van Ness is going to be a huge asset that we're probably going to look back on this and say, maybe this worked out better than we. Oh, right. Nicole, your turn.
Oh, I'm sorry, hon. My connection was skipping out.
No, that's fine.
Have they even called Juwan Johnson back up to the active roster?
He was never
That's
on the
my
practice
question,
squad.
because
He was never on the practice squad. He was just inactive last week. I think the only reason Juwan Johnson was inactive last week was because Sean Payton needed another body in the kicking game. So he brought up another linebacker. I think it was Andrew Dowell. But yeah, I definitely agree. Never made Juwan Johnson inactive ever. Ever. Nicole, you still there? We might be having some technical difficulties with Nicole, guys, so let me try to get her back. In the meantime, I'll keep answering questions. Nicole, I see you muting your mic and unmuting it. Okay, she'll be right back. Nicole's fixing her thing. But let me answer this question real quick. My friend got into a concussion from a car wreck we were in. I had to keep him up and standing for 30 minutes straight. Yeah, those concussions don't play, guys. Those concussions are deadly serious.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, there we go. That's better. All right, Nicole, this question is yours to answer.
Okay. But how much do I think Van Ness being back is going to help?
Yep.
Shit. I think it'll help a lot, because there's no veteran leadership in our tight end room right now. They're just kind of basically fishing and taking care of themselves. So.
Fishing and taking care of themselves. I never went fishing before. I've never went fishing before. I randomly just thought about that.
My connection is just fine. Thank you. I have Xfinity and pay like $200 a month for this. I just have a lot of shit connected to my Wi-Fi right now. That's all.
Xfinity, $200. Damn. Tight end Juwan Johnson will be needed.
I got like 5 TVs in my house.
Makes sense. Will be needed in the offense. Robert Clark, speaking of fats. We got Slim South, 504. We're going to read a couple more guys that we're going to get up out of here. We've already reached the 40-minute mark. Probably going to spend like another 5 minutes tops. Then we're going to get up out of here. Aaron and Nicole, Quan Alexander, or Pete Werner as your starter? My answer is simply this: Pete Werner, Pete Werner, Pete Werner. Look, the simple reason is Pete Werner has been playing outstanding. He's probably your best rookie player in this year's draft class. He has been everywhere where the football is. He has high IQ. He has great sideline to sideline speed. He is great at stopping the run, even better than Quan Alexander is. Now, granted, Quan Alexander is better in, I would say, in pass coverage because he's faster and has more experience in the league, and he's Demario Davis's hype man, and he brings the energy. But Pete Werner, he it looks like he can take the punishment. He's a little more durable than Quan Alexander is right now. He's only missed one game due to a minor hamstring. All Pete Werner does is make plays. That's all he does. So you don't want to take away your hot hand, your hot player, and Pete Werner for Quan Alexander. Now, granted, you want to keep Quan in there in some schemes and packages. Like, he deserves to be in there. I'm not saying totally phase him out of the game plan like you did Zach Bond. But if we're talking about splitting snap counts or someone's just being a starter, I think Pete Werner has showed you that he can be a more consistent weak side linebacker in this offense. In this defense. And now, Nicole, it is your turn.
Man, look, I don't like that question because it makes me feel like I have to choose, and everyone knows I'm a Quan Alexander girl. Look, I protect him like I protect my team, man. Quan Alexander is like my defense baby. So it's like, yeah, but Pete Werner.
She got to protect her babies, y'all. She's going with Quan. She got to protect the babies. Got to protect. I mean, who
No,
can
I
fault her?
said Pete Werner. I said Pete Werner.
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. Okay, we both say Pete Werner, but you definitely don't want to take away Quan
Just
Alexander.
know that we ain't going out like that about Quan.
No. We definitely ain't going out like that. Pete Werner deserves to be starter, but in terms of snap counts, I think it should be 60-40 with Pete Werner getting to 60. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Read two more we'll make two more
It is
comments
fair.
and then we'll get up out of here. Two more comments. Let's pick some good ones. Let's pick some good ones. We'll read this one, then we'll scroll up and pick another one. From Cam Armstrong. Cam's been here for the longest time, been a day one guy here at the Black Girl Breakdown podcast. And Nicole, this question is for both of us. He asked us, what wide receiver do you think we might get in the offseason? My answer, I have no idea. I don't think they're going to get one at all, if not the later rounds. The last wide receiver we took was
I
a
know
seventh
who I
round
want.
Kawan Baker. And like Kawan Baker. And Baker, I don't think he's going to be ready for a long while. So I have no idea who we're getting. Now, who I would like to get Garrett Wilson or Jackson Smith and Jigba, or even Jahan Dotson from Penn State. Dotson is a really good receiver. So those are my top. But who I think we might get, no idea, because this ain't do anything about how we want most of the time. They never do what we want them to do. I learned that the hard way. Nicole, what kind of receiver do you think we might get in the offseason?
I want Chris Olave because we already the Ohio State Saints.
Ohio State Saints, that is true. Chris
That's like a
Olave, he's
mini,
good.
a mini light skin.
True that. All right, let's read Let's try to find one more comment, and then we're going to get a body here. One more comment. Where is it at? Where can we find that one good comment? Let's find that one good comment if I can. Come on, guys. Hit us with one more question. We want one more question in here to answer. Hit us with something. Could be anything.
A good one.
Give us the good one. Let's go. Robert Clark says we get Kevin White. I'm hoping the best for Kevin White while we're waiting for this question, because I believe Kevin White can be a sneaky good signing for the Saints if he can just stay healthy. He's already shown he can be good on special teams. He already has his first catch of the season, good for 38 yards. He's got great speed. Like, his potential is still high. So I'm hoping for the best. All right, here's a good one. Once again, Cam Armstrong. He asks us, how do y'all feel about Cam Jordan? Getting rusty? I don't think he is getting rusty. My initial opinion was he was getting rusty, but more data came out that he was getting double teamed a lot. He was the second highest defensive end getting double teamed. The highest over him was Peyton Turner. The Saints had 3 of the top 5 most double teamed defensive ends so far this season. And that's because nobody respected the interior pressure at all without David Onyemata. And when David Onyemata started coming back and wreaking havoc, we seen a little more productivity out of Cam Jordan. So I'm not jumping. So I owe Cam Jordan an apology, and I'm not going to discredit him anymore until he really proves otherwise that he really has fallen off. I think Cam Jordan's pretty all right when he's not facing all that, not getting all that attention. Oh, go ahead, Nicole.
I never discredited Cam Jordan. Ever. I respect Cam. I mean, I am kind of sick of seeing his 24-hour rule tweets every time we fucking lose. But other than that, I'm chill with him because I know he's been getting double teamed or whatever. I peep that. So I mean, you can't get mad at someone who's constantly being double teamed with his productivity when he didn't have David Onyemata there to kind of cut that slack for him. So I'm not mad. He's not getting rusty. Double teaming the fuck out of him.
Okay, we're gonna quick fire these 2 questions here because these are some hard ones. So y'all think Peyton Turner is Davenport 2.0? I do not. And if you ask me the next offseason, I will not. I will say I do not. If he was to have a season-ending injury, I will say I do not. I think he's a Davenport 2.0, and I will stand by that. I learned the hard way not to what happens when you discredit Peyton Turner. I will not do that again. Peyton Turner is not Davenport because, for one, the Saints did not trade 2 first-round picks to get Marcus Davenport. And even with that 2 first narrative, the Saints only moved up from their original first-round spot and gave up another one on top of that. So you only gave up 1 first-rounder. You only gave up 1 first-round pick to move up in the draft and get Marcus Davenport. You do not give up 2 first-round picks. I don't know where this 2 first narrative got started or who started it, but no, he's not a Davenport 2.0. He's unfortunate right now because of injuries, but his injury isn't season-ending. He will be back. It's I think it's unfair to label Peyton Turner Davenport 2.0 when he's not even in his second year or even his third year yet. It takes a while for these guys to develop. We can't expect these guys to just come in and be instant hits. We gave Traquan Smith plenty of time, and now the narrative on him is different because so much time has passed. But Peyton Turner is only in his first year. Let's just wait and see what happens with Peyton Turner. Not everybody starts off hot. Not everybody starts off the same. Some guys start off hot, they end up going cold. Some guys start off cold and end up going hot, like Tom Brady. He was a fifth round quarterback. Nobody expected him to be one of the best in the league or best all time. No one expected that in the fifth rounder. Marcus, that guy was a seventh round pick. No one expected that. Kenny Stills was an undrafted guy from Carolina. He came to the Saints and he ended up getting 900 yards, over 900 in one season, 1,000 in another. Like different type of starting speeds. So let's just see what happens with Peyton Turner. My answer is no. He is not a Davenport 2.0. You have anything to comment on that? Nicole?
I never discredited Peyton Turner either. I don't think he's a Davenport 2.0. It's the same narrative as I said earlier this week with Paulson Adebo. You cannot discredit these guys because it's their first year. Rookie year is always a developmental year. So they play, they make mistakes, and either they get better or they tank. So it just depends on how they receive that criticism. For me, he can't be a Davenport when he's not really, he hasn't even played much this season, and we didn't give up as much for him.
True that.
And then when he does play, Peyton Turner is fucking amazing.
Oh, he absolutely.
It's like, how are you going to discredit someone who, when he does get a chance to play, he's shutting people down left and fucking right? You can't discredit that.
And I know I said I was going to have the last question be the last one, but there's too many good ones. It's hard to see. It's hard to stop. But we'll cut it off hard after this question here. Which wide receiver will step out? Will step up. I would assume will step up outside of Dante Harris as we push season. Well, it's not guaranteed we'll go into the postseason with how the Saints are playing right now, up and down. If the Saints beat the Titans tomorrow, then I'll come back to this question. But until then, I have no idea who's gonna outside Deontay Harris, because I have no confidence or guarantees that the Saints will make the playoffs. Like, the race is tight. It is extremely tight. And if they lose one to the Titans, then the chances of getting in there are going to be very, very slim. We'll see what happens. So I will keep that question in reserve. I'll make the note of that in my phone and get back to it tomorrow. Hopefully, here with a W. I think we beat the Titans tomorrow. Titans are on their high horse from beating the Rams last Sunday. This is a trap game for the Titans. I can understand that. I can understand that logic. Hopefully you're right and I'm wrong, because right now I have the Titans to win. I hope I'm coming here to guys roast the hell out of me. I want you guys to roast the hell out of me tomorrow if the Saints end up beating the Titans. I am here for it. I'll have Nicole spearhead the roasting session, and I will submit myself to the fire. I will happily do so. I'll make sure Nicole holds me to it too.
As you should.
I'll have her hold me to it. But that's it. That's all for today's episode of Breakdown Podcast. Courtesy of your boy, Huday Davis, and the queen here, Nicole. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys hit that like button. Please hit that share button and share us around to your fellow Saints fans, your non-Saints fans. Don't care what colors you represent. Let's come here and have some football talk, and hopefully, we get to 1.5K subscribers by the end of the year. Let's get to 1.4. We haven't moved the 1.31 needle in a long time. I want to see 1.32 the next time we come live within the next 48 hours. If we can get 1.32, we will be entirely blessed to have that happen. The final announcement, Nicole and I will be making an official Black and Gold Breakdown Podcast Twitter. And then I would say in a week from now, up to a week from now, we will have the official Twitter up on up in the description below for you guys to follow that page, and make sure you click that notification as well, so you never miss a moment when we post or tweet from that account. It'll be a fun time. I've never done this with another person before. Interested in seeing how it goes. For right now, hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your college football Saturday. We will see you guys, I would say Monday for the post game show of the New Orleans Saints Tennessee Titans. And hopefully I'm here for a roast session. I can't say it enough. I want to be here to be roasted. I want to get roasted the hell out of. So please, Saints, if you're watching this, prove me wrong. Let me get roasted shit out of. Let me pay for. Enjoy your Saturday night. We are out. And as always, if you guys don't know, you will know that over here, we bleed black and gold until we are dead and cold. See you guys Monday. Nicole, any final words?
Nope, the same thing. Just have a good night, guys. We'll see you Monday with the roast session.
You're